Welcome or welcome back. I'm Deborah, and in today's yoga mini sesh, we're going to have a short sequence if you've just come back from a run, a walk, or a hike. I've been teaching yoga for over 20 years and been teaching movement practices for 4 decades now. The idea of today's practice was recommended by one of my students as a way to take a little time, find some balance when you've just come back from exercising. So, good to have a couple of blocks or big books and something to use for a strap, as well as a folded blanket. Take your time, pause the video, and go grab your props, and we'll begin when you get back. So now that you have your props ready for you, and you can always use a yoga mat, but you don't have to. So come over into a child's pose to start your practice. You might be all sweaty from your walk or run. Enjoy that. And wiggle your hips backward towards your heels. Take a moment with arms lengthened out and just wobble your body a little bit side to side as you feel the back body opening up from your hips to your head. And then allow the arms to relax and rest your forehead down. If it doesn't quite come to the floor, one of your blocks or books could be handy to rest your forehead on, or you could just stack your hands, one on top of the next, and rest the forehead. Hear the weight of the body melting over the legs, body close to the earth after just coming back from exercising could feel really very good. Have a few nice long breaths here, just letting go. If your heart is still beating quite quickly from coming in from working out, this allows the heartbeat to slow down, the breath to come back into a much more normal flow. When you're ready, stretch your arms forward, spread the fingers, and come up onto your fours, your hands and knees. And move through a very simple cat stretch on exhale and cow pose on in-breath. Allow the belly to melt lightly toward the floor without overarching at the low back. Move your spine in time to your breath. And when you come into the next cat stretch, tuck the toes under and then move into cow pose. Untuck the toes and then move into cat stretch, so that you're actually beginning each phase of this motion with the bottoms of your feet. Having feet in shoes for your hike, your walk, or your run contracts the feet. And here you're allowing them to become part of the length of your body so that now the whole body is involved. And when you come next into your cat stretch, level out your spine and please step one of your legs back behind you. Doesn't matter which side you start on. I'm going to move my blanket off to the side. Step on the ball of the foot and drive that heel a little further back. And in this way, you're stretching out your calf muscle as well as sending a message to the hamstrings that you're about ready to ask them to stretch out. Take some nice, long, easy breaths here. And then raise that leg and step through between your hands. And here's where your blocks can be really helpful. They could be low, middle, or all the way up to their highest level. Sink the hips down and forward so that you find a nice opening in the back leg from the knee all the way up into the pelvis. Here, the front of the thigh, the quadricep group is opening. The iliopsoas muscle is lengthening. Soften your jaw. Have another couple of breaths. And then begin to slide backward to lift those front toes and forward to move them down to the floor. Exhale backward and inhale forward. Continue this back and forth movement as we start to get into the hamstring group and the gluteal muscles on your forward leg, as well as the quadriceps and the iliopsoas on the back leg. If you're not familiar with the terms of the musculature, don't worry about it. Just know you're opening the back of the front leg and the front of the back leg. And when you come into that straight front leg the next time, move your hands with or without block so that they're lining up with the forward knee. And then begin to turn this leg, toes to one side and toes to the other side, so that you get into a little more outer thigh and inner thigh, abductors and adductors, all very key in stretching out from your workout session. Find your way back into the center, bend that front knee again, and send the front knee in line with the back knee so that you can set your blocks off to side and step back with the second leg. Just like you did, step down on the ball of the foot and drive that heel a little further back, just to feel a nice opening in the calf muscle, in the back of the heel. Breathe into this opening. Know that you're shifting your hips back to send a message to the hamstring group that we're about ready to ask you to stretch out, oh hamstring group. And then raise that leg and step through between your hands. Here, your blocks can be handy. And of course, if I'm ever suggesting that you use props, you don't have to. Sink downward. Feel the stretch in the front of the back leg, the back of the front leg. Pause here. Soften your throat and your jaw. Listen to your breath running smoothly in and out. And then begin to shift. Backward to lift the toes in front and forward to lower them down to the floor. Exhale as you move back. Inhale as you move forward. Continue the motion in time to your unique rhythm of breath. And when you move back, the very next time, pause there. Bring your hands back to line up with that forward knee. Begin to turn this leg one direction and the other so that you can get into those outer thigh and inner thigh muscles, just like you did on the first leg. And when you're ready, bend that front knee again. Bring that knee back in line with the other. You can set your block off to side and go ahead and sit down. Now, if your lower back is tight at all, it's really nice to have folded blankets. The simple act of raising your sitting bones on the folded blanket creates the ability, when you sit cross-legged, to lower the knees below the level of the hips. And here, in this case, since we'll be working a little bit more on the back of the legs, the hamstring and calf muscle, gives you a little more space to do just that. So extend one leg, fold the other one. Take your strap, and this could be an old tie or a robe tie or a belt of any kind. And the use of the strap encourages the toes to come closer towards your face. Do see if you can straighten this forward knee on the extended leg, much as you can, and then lift up nice and tall. And for some of you, this could be just enough. Please don't force or move in any way that feels really uncomfortable to you. Take your time and consider the possibility of leaning towards this extended leg. Send your breath right into the places that feel the tightest or more congested places. Stay soft in your jaw. Stay smooth in your breath. Take your time here. 20, 30 seconds is really a good amount of time to stretch. And then when you take a breath in, come back up to sitting vertically if you did fold forward, and you'll take that strap or belt into the corresponding hand. So same arm, same leg. And then turn slightly away from this extended leg. And if you're on a blanket, you might have to readjust it so that both sitting bones are actually supported. Now we'll move into side bend. You can brace your elbow on the arm that's holding the strap and simply press the free hand to the top of the other thigh so that you can really ground both sitting bones, and think of lengthening up from the pelvis right up to the crown of the head. In case you'd like a little more length on the side of the body, you can sweep that other arm out and up as though you're stretching for the corner where the wall and the ceiling come together. Long and smooth breath. Soften into the stretch even while you're pulling on the ball of your foot to stay extended from the heel to the hip. With an inhale, come on up, and then we'll go to the second side. Use your prop, your strap, your belt. Lengthen the spine from the sitting bones right up to the crown of the head. And again, this might feel like it's just enough as you open from the heel, up the calf muscle, right up to the top of the leg where sitting bones are. Take another breath and then consider the possibility of leaning towards this leg. Direct your breath into the places that feel most intense. Notice what you feel. See that it's not too much, it's not too little, but it's just the right amount. Kind of like the Goldilocks story we all heard as little ones. Stay for 20, 30, 40 seconds, whatever feels just right to you, rather than coming in and out of stretching. A more ballistic type, which is not nearly as valuable. Wait for your inhalation. When it comes, sit up, take your strap in the same hand as the leg that's extended, and you can carry this leg off to side, or you could turn away from the leg so that you can brace your elbow inside of your thigh, beginning to find that length from both sitting bones right up to the crown of the head. And then your free hand can ground the bent leg hip. Pause there. if you like, you can sweep that arm out and up while you still remain grounded on both sit bones. Soften your jaw. Listen to the whispery, soft sound of your breath as it comes and goes, flowing in and out of your body. Pause and wait for an inhalation to lift you right back up. You can take your strap off, and I'll have you do one last posture in this short sequence, and that will be a supported bridge pose. So you can use one block, you can use two blocks. The idea with supporting the bridge pose is to further open the iliopsoas muscle and the quadriceps. The most important thing about supporting your bridge pose is that the width of the block will match the width of the back of the pelvis rather than the length of the block. The reason for that is we do not want the sides of the pelvis to melt down around the edges of the block. We want them to be supported. That's the safest position. So you could use one at a low height, a medium height, or you could simply stack the two blocks, one on the next. Take your heels close to your sitting bones, lie on your back, shrug your shoulders upward towards your ears here, and press your upper arms against the floor. See that your toes are turned very lightly inward towards each other. Press into your arms and into the bottoms of your feet and lift your hips. One block under the hips, or a little higher, or if it feels just right to you, you can stack your two blocks as long as the entire width of the pelvis is supported. Allow your arms to release and relax. Feel the lift of the chest towards the chin. Be with your breath. And especially if you've had a long distance run, stay here for several minutes. Allow the weight of the pelvis to rest on the props. Soften your throat. You could even close your eyes. Whenever you are ready, and again, take your time here, as long as you like, as long as it feels good. Press down on your feet, remove the prop, let the hips come down, stretch your legs out, turn the palms of your hands up and close your eyes. Find Shavasana, a sponge pose, where you can simply observe your body, observe your breath, and rest deeply. When you're ready to come up, bend the knees, roll over to one side, gently press yourself up, and we'll close our short practice with hands together at your heart. Bow your chin towards your throat and honor the time you've devoted to yoga today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're interested in live virtual classes with me, I teach on Zoom. Send me a message. My info is below with a link to my blog, which tells a little bit about me and my journey in yoga. If you've not already done so, hit that subscribe button. And if you click the bell in the drop-down menu, it will allow you to find out when I am uploading a new video. Thank you so much for joining me. See you next time. Bye for now.